Hello, Ray Lee, Speedboat Magazine, here with another episode of the Boats and Bros podcast with my bro, as always, Mr. Myrick Coyle. And today we have champion racer. We can say that because he's got a checkered flag now. Jeremy Tschida of Team Wozencraft. What's up, Jeremy?
How you doing, guys? It's good to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So where you at? So people know you're a Minnesota and a Florida guy. So where you at right now?
I'm in Minnesota. Minnesota running business,
Trying
working
to make
the
that
day
money
job.
so you can pay for your boating habits.
Yeah, that's pretty
Habits,
much it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
That's you know the deal.
Yeah. How many boats are you up to now?
Let's not talk about that. My wife might find out.
Well, the thing now that he became a boat racer, he doesn't use his pleasure boats nearly enough. So now he's like, man, I just want to put more money into my race boat because I want my race boat faster, and my pleasure boats don't mean as much as they used to.
That is the
Is that
truth.
ringing a bell?
I mean,
Yeah.
It is the truth. I mean, I know, back from all the years going back, watching. I mean, I remember watching Myrick and meeting him and talking about stuff. It didn't grasp the concept. Like everything to me was, you got to get ready for the next poker run or the next weekend to go fun run or do something. And now it's like after a long week of being at a boat race, it's like I think I could take a couple off just to rest up from this stuff. So yeah, we did,
especially after Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, it was just a tiny rough. So
yeah.
we actually just left the one boat just down in Florida and I think we're gonna go down. We'll use that this summer down there now.
And the one boat being the outboard Outerlimits or the sterndrive Outerlimits?
The outboard. Yeah, the outboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the sterndrive out of the salt water, right?
Yeah. Well, you remember years ago when I brought it to you guys and you guys desalted the thing, and I've had many ambitions of like, just be great, bring it down just one time. And then my wife reminds me of, remember when we took it there and it took a whole winter to do this and fix that and everything, and
turbo housings and everything, water pumps and every fitting that you forget. Still, stainless steel still corrodes. It's crazy.
Everything. I mean, but the transom assemblies on the back, you guys went through and did all, painted and I mean, it all looks like it never seen it at this point, but it's
I had an old man at TNT. Man, I can't remember his name, but he was a good mechanic, and he actually had cancer. And he told me, he goes, corrosion's like cancer, Myrick. It never sleeps. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. And he was a good mechanic, and I always thought of that. Like, so your boat goes to salt water, and then it comes back, and that corrosion is still corroding all the time, no matter what. So it's one of those wild things that you don't think about.
We get that up here in the wintertime, so a little bit.
Salt.
Yeah, so the salt on the roads and stuff for cars and vehicles, and I know you guys down south don't see that, but up here, that's. I always think about, like, it's like taking your boat and just driving it down the worst, nastiest roads, driving around for a week in the worst roads you can possibly think of.
And not only does it get into all the, it gets inside.
Yeah, everywhere. It's every orifice you can think of it gets to. So
yeah. And again, just like Cocoa Beach, thank God Tyler didn't say, let's take the 2 new boats to Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, that was a smart decision.
Yeah.
You guys still be working on them.
I mean, we're still working on the other one that, taking it out and then desalting it. And we did bring it back and ran it after the race just to desalt it before we took it apart and stole the engines out of it for the new boat and all that. So
let's get into that since you brought it.
Yeah, we put the new boat in the water today.
Oh, nice.
First time. Yeah.
When, today or recently?
Yeah, today. First time. Here, I'll hit you up. You'll be able to show the pictures when you edit it, but it floats. It's crazy how
it floats.
That was the scariest
check
part.
Number 1.
So,
oh, wow.
There you go. Yeah. So they're just sitting in the water with its big old giant scoops on it.
Look how low it is in the back.
Obviously, yeah, low. But it made it on, Tyler's tailpipes that we made so much fun of. because he wanted them out or whatever. But you can see Craig's ass sitting on there, but you can see that they're above the water line, which is scary on the first startup and all that stuff. Yeah, but it actually looks a lot like a Super Cat in the back.
It does,
with the drives and everything sticking out. So pretty cool.
I would have said like was that your old Super Cat or something?
Exactly. That's kind of, and basically that's what we're going after. What is one of the most dominant boats ever in boat racing? 388 Skater. So let's build something. Kind of fly in here. Let's build something very similar to that. So, it's not always reinventing the wheel, and it's just getting something that is good all around and then working on it, just like we have with the 438, just like you're doing with your Victory boat.
Yep. It's been a work in progress. I mean, it takes a bit of time and figuring the things
Jeremy,
out.
talk about that. So obviously you've been on the poker run circuit forever, been in the performance boating world for a long time. And then what made that switch flip to go offshore racing?
It's always been kind of entertained, I guess, if the right opportunity, the right thing came about. I can't swing and doing a class 1 deal like, Myrick does. I mean, that's just
not Myrick. Not Myrick. Tyler. Yeah. Myrick can't swing a bass boat payment.
But it's always been on the, I mean, Myrick will tell you, I love going fast all the time. Everything's a race. We get off on some pedal bikes, and next thing you know, we're going to be talking about racing somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
and obviously, from a guy being up north, you probably love snowmobiles, I assume.
Run snowmobiles my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done, did a lot of mountain riding, things like that. I'm very versed in, I raced motorcycles back in the AMA for years around the whole circuit.
What kind of dirt bike or
road race?
Street bike?
Well, I did street bike. I did do a little bit of dirt bike stuff, but I really got into the street bike stuff, and it honed your skills on driving and picking lines. And
I think personally, that's the coolest motorsport there ever is. Street bikes. I mean, the Isle of Man's going on right now, and I'm like every day, like, oh my God, that is the coolest freaking thing. These guys are clipping along. I think Michael Donahue just ran a lap yesterday where 127 mile an hour lap average over 37 miles. And he's like touching concrete walls with his elbows as he's going by. How the fuck is that not the coolest thing ever?
It is. I think back, like all the things I did is I raced, but it's crazy. But back then, we would have little courses that we'd set up in the roads, and and so you would do stuff like that totally against all logic, but a little wild, man. So you just go, and the things you would remember after an event, or doing that. You and your buddies go out there and you laugh because you smoked by them and did something this or did that. You learned. I mean, had a few spills along the way of oh, that was bad. That was in the ditch, and so
you're not going fast enough if you're not doing that every once in a while.
Right. So it was we were on the AMA circuit around for years and had a good time with it. I broke my back. Crashed like 165 miles an hour, and I probably flew. Turn 1 at Brainerd was a banked turn, and it went off of that wide open. It was the last lap. I knew I had a worn out front tire, but I stuck it in there anyway. I'm in second place. I'm drafting. I was coming at the end of that. You could draft by. If you were in second place, you could draft by pretty easily, and I was quicker than the leader in turns 4, 5, and 6. So I knew if I could get in front of him. Every time I was getting stuck behind him, I couldn't get around him 4, 5, 6. And so I knew if I could get in front of him, I was good. So I just laid it in there. And I remember it laid down, and I pushed back up.
The front wheel washed out.
Front wheel washed, and it was long enough I was washed. I was underneath him. It was a miracle I didn't take him out. I stood it back up, and then I tried to lay it in again. Again, we're 160. They had me when we crossed the thing. It was 164 was the radar trap coming through there, but laid it down again, and then it was just, it was probably a 10-degree angle. I mean, I remember getting up. I got up after tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. And I thought I stopped. I put my feet down. Actually, I didn't stop. I just tumbled some more. And I got up thinking I got to get back on my bike, and it was in like 2 pieces. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna finish the race. So
yeah, but the competitive nature is like go 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 go.
Turns out you were in 2 pieces too.
yeah, broke her back, and that was really the end. I had to make a adult choice at that point. Like, where am I going with my life here? I can keep doing this, and maybe end up like some of the at that time heroes that I'm watching walk around with, people helping them get onto motorcycles and walking around and getting onto things, or maybe I should adult a little bit. So,
so you adulted.
So you ended up in offshore racing.
You adulted. You adulted for like 5 years and then went boat racing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I adulted. I bought a 180 mile an hour pleasure boat, and then I bought an outboard boat like 130 mile an hour, and then yeah, you did.
Well,
you did a hell of a good job adulting.
Yeah. When I bought that, I mean, Myrick was a big integral part of that, of me learning cat stuff. I mean, I was a V-bottom guy, if you remember when that all came about.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I only remember you being Outerlimits cat guy.
Oh, yeah.
So what were your previous boats, your V-bottoms?
I had a Baja way back in the day, and then I had a Hustler 44 with triples that we'd put multiple different engine packages and stuff. And loved that, played with that. That was kind of old school fun. Just, it was a 9,500 mile an hour boat, and you just, back in those days, you were king of the hill if you had a 100 mile an hour boat. And then you could go have cocktails and go down below and turn the air conditioning on and hang and have a party down below. So
yeah, that's cool.
And then I had that 39 Quattro, and then I had that at Performance a couple times, and then
it's funny, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, so I had that, and then
me being a cat guy,
Well, I remember, so it still sticks in my head in the beginning, because I remember back then talking to you, and you're like, hey, if it ain't a cat, it's a dog. Yeah, you don't understand. It's a V-bottom. V-bottoms are awesome, and then
this little asshole walks up to you like, oh, you got a V-bottom? Sucks to be you, man.
Nice dog.
Yeah.
And then he's bought 3 or 4 cats.
Yeah. Once you go into it, I mean, it's really. But you remember when I brought the 46? Craig picked it up. Antmeyer was working with you guys, or working at Performance at the time, and he brought it up, and that was just a cool experience, because the whole time I didn't know who this guy was. He's texting me the whole time, telling me what's going on, keeping him, just bought a boat and bringing it, coming up to you guys, and then I
remember water pickups being kind of goofy on it and things like that.
Remember the transmission had some issue right away, and I mean you were integral right out the gate. He's like, hey, I wanted to put this in the water, but I tested this and found that, and I want to get all this stuff fixed for you. Like, oh, this guy's awesome.
I kind of remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you took me out and spent literally, I bet you 5 or 6 hours out in the lake with me, teaching me the ins and outs and what to do, and hey, see this and see that.
And yeah, for people that don't know, it's a orange 46 Outerlimits open top. You've seen a lot of the canopy ones, but this one's called Topless, and it's gorgeous. It really is, and it runs just as good as any of the canopied ones. And
from an angle, it looks like it's a full closed canopy.
Yeah, it does. If you look at it from the front, it's
sexy.
The upper flange, the Outerlimit sleeves on there is cool. I mean, especially when you're grabbing it with your hands, it feels sturdy. You're not like grabbing the windshield. And a pet peeve of mine, which it's almost impossible, because people get up out of the seat of the boat and they grab your windshield, and then there's just handprints everywhere along the windshield. But when they have this, I don't know, it's probably a 4 or 5 inch flange on the top of the Outerlimits. It's nice. I mean, it is a kind of a visibility thing, like when you're sitting up, but when you're sitting in the seat, you don't notice it at all. But it is nice and sturdy when you grab a hold of it with the with the flange on the top of, because we have another one in the shop that Shelby Smith owns now, and it has that flange on it also.
Yeah,
It was Johnny O's boat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a little bit smaller than the one that's on mine on the 6-seat version, the 8-seat version. They made them just a little bit thinner.
The flange on the top.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah. So no, good.
Then you got the Outerlimits cat, the outboard cat to match. It's painted alike.
Yep, we did the SC37. So when they were coming out with that, I agreed to jump on board with that right away, and
I tell you what, I mean, not dissing your boat, but the canopied version of that boat is gorgeous.
Yeah, I get it. I
mean,
agree.
I look at them because I dream about making our 420 a canopied boat, and I'm just like, I want our canopy to look like the Outerlimits canopy is what I always think, because
did a nice job with that.
It's sexy.
That's the perfect word. It's just it's sexy.
Yeah,
they do a good job with it. Yeah, John Tokar got his, and
his is yellow, I think.
Oh, yellow.
Yep.
Yeah. So good boat, and he got that running good now. He had that down in South Florida for the winter and ran it a couple times. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah. Outboard cat got your feet wet with outboard power, and then you decided to go offshore racing in the super stock class.
It did. Yeah. You know what? I thought I knew in the inboard stuff. I thought, this is great. This is a great, and I love that. The reason why I still own the boat is I still love it. It just fits. I swear it fits me like a glove. I get in it, and I just smile and laugh. But get the outboard boat, Mike, I think you'd agree, maybe, hopefully, with what I'm saying. But I swear it makes you a better driver, a better. You feel things, you adjust things better. The inboard, you just got so much power and torque that you can go as fast as you need to go all the time. It's not even really, push the throttles. You don't have to have the trim right. You don't have to, there's so many things you don't have to do right.
Yeah.
And in the inboard boat,
power is an awesome Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Like it is. I mean, even boat, like, say for example, a boat's known for an ill handling characteristic. If you give me enough power, I can make it through that ill handling characteristic. But if you give me, for example, in the stock class 300 horsepower side, or in the outboard world of pleasure boats 450 or 500, it will emphasize every bad thing that boat has going on, whether it's a porpoise or whether the driver really doesn't know what he's doing or whatever. But it's right. Jeremy's exactly right. You learn so much more with limited amounts of power than you do just going out and getting in a QC4V and slamming the throttles forward and holding on.
I've got my outboard SC37. I've got a lot of hours on that. It's probably 400 to 500 hours on that boat, and it makes you better because you're always learning something. If you do this, and then I'll go get in the inboard boat. I'm like, God, it still transfers over. That still works over there. You didn't know that you could or couldn't do something like that. So it's a cool thing.
It's what everybody says about stock class. If a guy can drive in stock class, he can drive in class 1, he can drive in super cat, because it's so much harder. It's, I don't know if it sucks or whatever, but you might not get as much recognition in stock class as like a class 1 driver or whatever, but it's when I was driving 3 boats, I'd get out of the stock boat and then I'd go to the super cat, and then I'd go to the class 1, and I was like, I could drive this super cat and this class 1 through like a keyhole compared to driving that stock boat. And I'm like, man, I hope it don't hook, I hope it don't push, all this stuff. The difference in the feeling of that boat compared to the big old skags and the added weight.
Yeah. We jumped into the stock stuff, and
how did that conversation start? Like, who came to who? And
well, Julian and I had worked together on different stuff in the past. He'd done some work with my SC37, and we kind of just developed a friendship. Actually, back when I had the inboard stuff, he was quite a bit younger, but we even messaged a little bit, over Facebook or something at that point. So we kind of had a little bit of a conversation going. And then we
and Manatee Marine being on the west side, and your house is in Cape Coral or something like that. Yeah,
yeah, Cape Coral. Yeah. So, I mean, we just developed friendship, I guess, is how that went. And at one point, he had asked me at one point, there was something coming up, and he said, "Hey, you want to come up and drive? Reese can't be at a race. You want to come up and drive at one of the races in the Jackhammer boat?" And of course, it was like 3 days in advance, and I'm notoriously busy with something, so I wish I could, but I can't. And kicking myself, and my kids all upset because they're not. There's this dream is for us to be involved with racing. And so
that being Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah,
like the master of knowing like
the
what's going on
of boating.
Yeah, the encyclopedia of
performance
boats.
Of it.
Yeah, he does.
It's the truth. I mean, Dave Burgess, Dave, he kind of nicknamed him the crew chief, so now it's kind of stuck with him with us now. So I give him a hard time all the time, like, crew chief, I need this, crew chief, I need that. he takes it to heart. He gets working to do what he can, and but yeah, he still knows he knows more of what's going on at the races than I do. I'm busy doing something, and he'll be like, "Did you know that this happened and this person said this and MCON's doing that and so finished this?" Like,
he always comes over and like gets his inside scoop with me. Like, so Myrick, what do you think's gonna happen? And I always shoot him straight, like, I think we're gonna get our ass kicked, or and he'll like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah. Guess what Myrick said.
He actually filters a lot of. He tells everybody else more stuff than he tells me, and so I hear it third hand from somebody, like, Tyler said this and this was going to happen. I'm like, oh, he never said a word to me, but okay. So that's part of growing up as a teenage kid trying to get out and do his own thing. That's one great thing about the sport that we're in, the camaraderie around the pits. I mean, for sure. Yeah. The family thing for us has always been huge for boating. I mean, back in the day when we first started coming to performance, it was Tyler, I got pictures that actually just came across a memory of him sitting in the Jimmy John's boat. Mark, you let him come sit in there. So first there's a picture of him sitting in there, and then I'm sitting in there with him. Just came across some memories just the last couple of days, and sitting at in the showroom somewhere. And he's just a little shrimp.
8 or 9 years ago or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So just a little shrimp sitting there, and so he's always idolized up to all what's going on with racing and stuff. So
and now he's like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, 9 feet tall, 250 pounds. Yeah.
I
mean, I always love to do that. I mean, and I ain't patting myself on the back, but those boats are not like a pleasure boat. I'd much rather send somebody up into my race boat to, like, hey, go up there and sit in it, and they're like, it's a different perspective for them being closed, and then you close the lid and they're like, holy shit, this is this is wild.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I can remember my dad and it was an event at like Caterpillar Tractor Company, and it would have been like 91 or 92, where Chuck Norris's boat was over there, like in the parking lot at Cat. And it had I think it had Caterpillar engines. I really don't remember, but just going up and standing on a ladder by it and looking around, but couldn't imagine somebody let me drop in, kind of thing. So it's cool.
Yeah.
I like to do that.
You developed a monster just because of that kind of thing. Like it's,
a few years ago, Billy Allen was good enough to put Tyler in the seat with him and took him out for a hot lap or two.
Yeah.
And they sent me the video, and we posted it up like a performance boat story.
Yeah, you did. It was cool. Pretty cool video. Yeah, and he still to
Billy
this day
Allen's
he's got that.
Good for that. He likes to give people rides.
Yeah. Well, he keeps trying to steal them from me now. He's like,
he needs a crew chief.
He keeps telling him. He's like, what's he paying? I'll pay you more.
Yeah.
There goes Tyler driving the Allen race boat. asking, how did you like it?
It was amazing. Like the boat, it was light, but it handled the waves very good.
Yeah.
We were rowing at least 2-foot waves. Thing bounced around a little, but we didn't really feel a thing. And we got to the triple digits in those waters. It was amazing. I can't thank my friend Billy Allen for letting me do this opportunity and getting the experience, because I'll be coming to race pretty soon.
So what's the point standing in stock class right now? I was wondering that on the way home.
Second, and I think we're down, might be 15 points ish or something like that.
But close out of a 16, 17 boat field to be in the top 5 is unbelievable. And I assume since you're in second, Team Bermuda's in first.
Team Bermuda's in first. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're
boys been doing their homework and they've been running the shit out of that thing.
They've been doing really well. And Jeremy, your second season of racing ever as a new team and being in second place in a field of 15, 16 boats. That's pretty good.
16, 17, 18. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm hearing even.
Correct.
Yeah.
We always, it's always one of my favorite ones to watch. And we always try to put our money, not that we actually hand money around, but we're like, oh, who's going to win, and we always do that crap.
Yeah.
Just something in the pits to, talk about.
It's a super competitive class, and honestly, I mean, I wouldn't want to race in something that's not competitive, I guess, because that's just not fun. I'm not a participation kind of guy. So
yeah.
Julian and I hit it off that way because I have a real competitive, but a little bit more of a wild side when I was younger, and I mellowed out as I got older and married and stuff. But put me in the race conditions or whatever, and I get real focused on what needs to happen. He kind of reminds me of a younger me, I guess, where let it all hang out. We're checkers or wreckers. Let's go for it. And
obviously he's a badass because so many times, even during qualifying, I watch your boat or Jackhammer. I'm like, God damn, like that thing looks out of control. And then it stays upright and go in the right direction. I'm like, well, guess it ain't that out of control. Maybe I'm a pussy because I'm standing on the shore watching him run it, and I'm like, man. And it's actually funny. He called me out one time, and I wish I would have done it, but it was like when Jackhammer was kicking everybody's ass in the stock class, and he said, "You want to go for a ride?" And I was like, yeah, I guess. And he's like, well, you said on your podcast that you want to go for a ride in this thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do. But it was at Sheboygan. No, it was Sheboygan, and the water's like, I don't know. It wasn't going to be fun. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm tapping out. I've had enough of this shit today, and, I don't wish that I would have went out there, but I would wish I could have just went out and felt what that boat felt like. Cause I remember at the point to where they came into the class and they were getting their ass kicked, and then they were, right there with us, and then they were gone away from everybody. I was like, well, they obviously figured something out. And it was funny. And Reese and when they'd kick my ass in stock class, my kids would always ask, they'd say, so how'd Jackhammer beat you so bad? And I'd say, they're cheating. And I'd just say they're cheating like that. And so my kid Jackson, which is a great story, goes up to Reese at the lake race. Like, I don't know, it'd have been 5 years ago or something. And he's like, my dad says you're cheating. Right to Reese on the street party. And I'm like, and Jax is just one of those guys. He's like, oh, really? Who's your dad? He goes, he's like, Myrick, and so Reese comes up to me like later on laughing, Reese a ham.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I'm cheating, huh? And I was like, I don't know, are you? And he's like, well, your kid's telling me that you're saying that. Oh, I go, oh yeah, I tell him that all the time. You gotta accept it, because when your kid asks you how you're getting your ass kicked, you're like, oh, they're cheating. It's easier to say it than saying that they're, testing longer and doing better.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
Nailing the setups every time.
Nailing the setups every time and running the boat harder and all that. It's way easier just to go, they're cheating. Then the kid's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. No, the guys over there, I mean, the whole Maldonado family's been awesome to me. That's really, I mean, Ricky and Julian, Ricardo, I mean, they've all been awesome to me, all and the family. I mean, they take us in, we go up there.
So what was the learning curve like coming from your Outerlimits cats into the Victory, and then from pleasure boating, being competitive as you were still, but going into full race mode with Julian?
I was nervous when we went out for the first test, for sure. They got the boat together, and I mean, that thing all happened kind of really quick, honestly. That was only a couple weeks before Coco last year. Not this year, but the year before. And honestly, Julian had talked to me about it. I said, we talked about it, and I said, I would buy the boat. But here's the things that need to happen. I mean, I'm not here just to participate. I'm here to make an effort. I don't expect, he has the expectation to go out there and win, and I have the expectation to go out there and be competitive. I said, I need the guidance. I know nothing about what we're doing. You got to coach me along, but it's got to be, I don't expect you to hold my hand, but it's got to be accelerated. I think him and I had a good enough rapport, and there was no hesitation. Like, yeah, sure, sounds good. We'll do it. So I said, okay. So it took a little bit for the whole deal to happen, but once everything went down, they handled the boat, and got to chase the dog around a little bit.
Yeah. He's a cat guy. He's going to go beat the shit out of the dog.
Yeah. He's looking for the dog. So, that's, we really, the whole Ricky and Julian and stuff, they just put their heads down and try to make things happen. And, that boat's a little bit unique. I think there's only one other one like it. So
a lot of the thing that when I look at the boat, it looks smaller, but it's really not that much smaller, right? It's just because of the cut down, the sides of the deck are so much cut down.
They actually cut the boat. It's a foot shorter. So they cut a foot. Yeah, they cut a foot out of the boat to shorten it. And
so where do they do that? Did like out of the mold they cut it, or afterwards to where they like move the transom forward?
That was the old Dubai police boat. So it's actually
I remember seeing that, and so that would have been raced in the X-Cat class, right?
The X-Cat, yep. So no, it's actually cut. There's photos I've seen of it. Gary Ballou has got some, and Ricky's got some. They cut the boat in kind of a zigzag shape. It's forward of the cockpit, but they cut it right in half, and they take a foot out of the boat and put the whole thing back together. And it's crazy. You get inside of it and you can't tell where they did it, but with the photos,
you mean like down in the sponsons and you look for it.
You can't.
It's amazing that with somebody that knows what they're doing to do something like that. Yeah.
Right.
That's why when you see a boat like X Insurance North blown apart and they're like, man, I can't believe they fixed it. I was like, no, that's not, I mean, it's obviously a lot of work and I don't want to make people think, but that boat can be just as strong again, by gluing it back together.
Yeah. Cocoa Beach, I've never been through an ass whooping like that. There was some points. Well, last year there were some points that I did ask, like, are you sure we're okay? After, he landed something really hard. Like, he's like, yeah, we'll just steer. Okay, sounds good.
Shut up.
Yeah.
As rough as it was, to Marek's point, I don't think you guys even slowed down, though. You guys were sending it, like, out of turn one, going out to sea. You guys were in the air.
Yeah, like, I saw one where it was like, damn near a stuff. I mean, but it's crazy, at that point you would have wished that boat was a foot longer. You're like, man, I wish
Where's that
foot out of
zigzag
there.
back?
Zigzag that bitch right back a foot longer.
I would add 2 feet to it if I could.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
No, there's there's the ruffle. The race is typically in Xcatter a little bit smoother, I think, generally than what we end up with over here, and the courses are a little bit tighter. So
Yeah.
my understanding is that that boat was really shortened and made specifically. The whole work behind it was for cornering, and
Yeah.
so it does corner like a SOB. I mean, last year, first time ever I throttled that boat in Englewood. That and Jackhammer. Julian had to go to a wedding for his sister's wedding, so Reese and I decided to partner up. Well, him and I had never been in a boat together, so that was.
How'd you do?
I think we finished third in both on Saturday, and then Julian came back on Sunday, and I told him that we had torn some stuff up, but he didn't really believe it until he got there Sunday morning. He's like, "Holy, what did you guys do?" Like, I told you it was broke. He's like, I didn't think it was that broke. Like, but yeah, I mean, that was a cool experience. Though, first time throttling in a race and stuff. It was.
It takes a different mindset, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. I mean, and at first my whole mindset was just get out there and go and have fun, and then by the time I got through the first corner, I'm like, okay, I need to get better at this, or I need to get better at that.
Yeah.
I need to do this, and so yeah, it was good. But yeah, I don't know. The Maldonado guys are good, and they've taught me so much at an accelerated level. I think a pace that how to go about things and what to do, what not to do, and how to that. I think.
One of the common themes that we hear a lot on the podcast, and Marek, he's one of them that coaches people this way. Is like how hard you can turn a race boat in a race. Was that surprising to you when you first learned how hard you could turn, or did you already know?
No, I don't. My SC37, I get joy out of just telling people to
railing
hold on
that thing.
Yeah, I guess, hold on, and they're like, "Yeah, I am." I'm like, "No, really, hold on," and then you kind of. And then you watch people lean up against the wall or slide across the seats or do something. So
yeah, well, that's actually more exciting because people haven't experienced it, and it's more exhilarating than the acceleration because there isn't much acceleration, in a outboard cat with, and I'm not dissing it because part of a company that builds them, but. That's one of the things about when you ride in a QC4V, like his boat Topless, and you hit the throttles at 80, you're like, holy shit, this thing is an animal. You hit a outboard cat at 80, you're like, okay, here we go. And then the air gets under it, and you're like, okay, now we're going. But then when you like, here, watch this, and you drop the throttles to 20% and crank the wheel and put it back in it, and it nose digs in and it goes the other way, they're like, holy shit. You're like, yeah. That's what it can do.
Yeah. So
wanted to thank Monster Energy for sponsoring the podcast, the Boats and Bros podcast, and really excited about it. How about you, Myrick?
I'm excited as hell. Monster Energy. I just had 2 of them. Man, I'm all jacked up. This sounds awesome. Yeah. I ain't going to be able to sleep tonight because this is 9 o'clock at night after our Boats and Bros. Missy's rolling eyes and shaking her head at me. Anyway, yeah, big being with Monster Energy is an awesome deal. Been fortunate enough to be sponsored by them with boat racing for the last 2 or 3 years, and now to have them on the Boats and Bros podcast. I really do love that sugar-free stuff, and when we're working late nights and when we're doing all this other stuff, it's awesome to be part of the Monster Energy family and drink their product. So go Monster Energy.
Go. Cheers. Thanks, y'all.
Really got to walk through here when I'm doing that.
So, yeah, our first test, I think me, Kristie, Tyler all went up and they all stayed at I'm pretty sure they just stayed at the yacht club. and there's a yacht club that they launch out of out there, and Julian's a member up there. And so we went out, and Ricky went out with the red boat, and Julian and I just took off just to go run around. And I think he just wanted to kind of get a feel, see where we're at. And we went out into the Gulf, and he's bouncing around. He's like, "Hey, turn left." And we had no buoys, turning left. Like, okay, we're going to go in circles, or what are you going to do? So we messed around for a little bit, and then they have a little course that they know about set up. So we went in there, and it's a smoother water, but there's not a lot of people around. But went in and made a couple of, I think he drove it in pretty good. And then, I probably started to turn it in a little bit early, where we're starting to, still trimmed up, and we're still coming in hot, and I got the boat sideways, and he's like, not yet. And then kind of, we walked through how he likes to do it and how it works, and just how it works. And he would, once he gets a boat set, now we kind of get it. We don't have to talk about it a whole lot, but now and then if we're, especially in the beginning of a race, like boat's all yours or whatever, we got our talk that we'll talk about. But
lingo.
Yeah, but the first couple times, I think at one point, I've never asked him this, but I think at one point, I think he tried to scare me, coming into it, because you got piling, shore, dam, and shore on the other side, and I got to make this.
We'll figure out if this guy can turn or not now.
Yeah.
You can dodge a ball, or you can dodge a wrench.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. So I've never asked him, but I think at one point, we'd made a few laps, and I think he just thought, all right, well, we're just gonna. And he just never lifted. Just came all the way in, never lifted. And you could feel the boat trim in. He's like, all right, it's all yours, and cut the boat. It's like, well.
It's an amazing feeling as a driver, and Jeremy being a driver, to where your throttle man can set you and you guys get in a groove. It's like the greatest thing.
For
it's
sure.
Like,
yeah. When it's going good, it's the funnest thing ever. When it's not, you're like, God,
when the wind holds it up and it pushes you through, or like the wind up the nose, or you don't have enough weight for it. Yeah. It's like, man, it won't turn. And they're like, turn. And you're like, it won't. It's like kind of thing.
If I turn any harder, it's going out.
Tyler and I, last race, turn it. I go, we're in the air. Yeah, that's what Jace, our videographer, he's like, that's one of my favorite comments. It's like, turn, and Myrick's all calm and goes, we're in the air. How are we gonna turn? My rudder isn't 5 foot long, or my skegs. Yeah.
Well, you said on one of those videos that you in Cocoa Beach, this last race was one of the hardest hits you've ever taken.
One more here. One more. That was one of the hardest hits I've ever taken.
What did that feel
for
like?
me? It is, yeah.
Like all your filling skin out and such.
It's like, I don't know. I've never been like a dirt bike guy, but it just felt like you're casing a jump. Because you're like, I'm going to try to make it. Oh, shit. There's one right in the middle, and we're going to land right in the middle of it. It's like,
Especially coming around turn one when you came
yeah.
around there, and then when you headed back into the sea, it was like you see the wall. You're like, I'm thinking to myself, please hit nitrous, do something. Let's clear this thing.
Yeah, you like need a power to pass or a jet thruster while you're airborne, because it's like you've already jumped and you're like, man, there's a giant wave. But it's like Jeremy said, it's a 3-point turn. You're running downwind or kind of quartering sea over your starboard shoulder. You go by the pier, and then you turn and you start turning into them, and you just getting your butt kicked, and you're like, okay, now we got to start accelerating back into them again. And it feels like, I don't know, feels like 2 minutes to get through that turn. And even though it's not, it just feels like forever. And then you got to run into a head on. So the boat's going this way, the waves coming like this. And it's just, the boat does not like it. So,
well, I gotta say, because I was on the pace boat all
Yeah.
weekend long, and we were posted
glutton
up
for
right.
punishment there, man.
Yeah,
How
Man.
wet were you? You're looking salty still.
I was so soaked. I mean, like throughout the whole weekend. I think somebody called me a drowned rat, which
Yeah.
is just pretty accurate. But no, I would see like the bottoms of all your boats coming up out of turn one and just flying it. But it really did, for me, watching that all weekend, it separated the men from the boys, because you could see, especially like the newer teams, and no shade against them, but they were taking it slower, and they're not used to that stuff, man. They're just like easing over the swells, whereas the experienced guys, MCon and Wozencraft, you guys were sending it, and like, no, matter of fact, there was a couple of times I caught it on video. I think Jeremy, you and Julian actually passed somebody in the air, because that's how cautiously the other team was taking it.
He's an animal when it comes to that. So he loves the rough, but I think that was kind of almost the limit. Like he said, I've never had raced in anything that rough. So Saturday practice was pretty rough. And he said, we were out there, and he says, I don't think I've ever raced anything that rough. Well, then Sunday came and everybody's telling us it's rougher. And I'm like, is it really or no? Is it really?
It was
Sunday
rougher on Saturday
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it was rougher for us.
It was
on
late
Sunday.
in the day. It was late in the day for us on the Saturday race. But yeah, Sunday was low.
Sure.
So
yeah,
like
right,
80,
we
85,
qualified.
90 miles an hour. It was like 10 mile an hour faster on Sunday. But it was also the timing. It was about timing too. And test sessions are, can be from 11 to noon, and racing can be at 5. And I actually think I was wondering if they were going to get it in on the Saturday's race with all the crap that was going on. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. No, it was good. I mean, I love the racing. The family side of things is pretty cool. You get to all the other teams, and Myrick is gracious enough to show me, I've been working on trying to bring more testing and telemetry kind of stuff into our team, and we're far from where I want to be, I guess, but it's
and it's one of those things that if it weren't for Tyler and Chelsea, I would be like, until I watch it work, and we're like, no, I want this prop. She's like, that prop sucks, and I'm like, no, but that's one pitch down from where I'm at. And she's like, look at the acceleration times. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, thanks, Chelsea. Good job.
Yes. So, it's a work in progress on our stuff.
My dog is literally like, can you hear it all? It's like the biggest moaning. And her name's Skater. So she's a pain in my ass. She's just out there making the worst noises ever. It sounds like murder.
But anyway, you get up to go like punish her.
No, that was another one. That was the little one just going nuts.
Yeah.
I wish you could hear her.
I can hear it a little bit. You got like a farm going on over there or something.
Yeah, it is. Ferrets and dogs. Jeremy's the only person that's cared about trying to get rid of my geese problem, though, and he sent me I still haven't bought it, but
still haven't gotten it. No,
I haven't got it. It's like something you put on your grass. So if the geese eat your grass, there you go.
I'll bring you a sample. You try it once, and then you'll.
Then my dogs will probably be shitting everywhere after eating the grass after the geese repellent.
I have to look at that. I guess I can't confirm that or not. So
at this point, the dogs can stay outside, but it's just hard to concentrate when this dog is like, you're right there in my face. Or she's outside, but she can see me. So hey, look at that. You guys will get a kick out of this. So Missy set me up with because my ring light or the light for the camera or the backlighting so they can see my face failed. This is my new setup. I think we need a Milwaukee sponsorship. It's sitting on I don't know, a pot that you would like cook noodles in on the other side of the camera.
Just for height.
Yeah. You know, I always need a spacer for height. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Dave McIntyre was sitting in my seat today and he's like, "Oh, I like this. I'm all up on the wheel, you know, because it's tight in there. And I like the wheel up, you know, not to where I'm not stretched out. I like it kind of, you know, close to me. The only problem with that is when you get it close to you, then you have your steering stem that you got to worry about if you have to get out. That it's kind of in the way, but I still like. It's funny when you see like them NASCAR drivers and they're all the wheels like this.
Yeah.
I don't like it that close, but I like
Right.
it.
I would agree. Yeah.
It's crazy how having
it's good to be up and close. And
yeah, and I always say in those rough water races that I really feel that a throttle-man, and I'm not saying it because I'm a pussy, which everybody can whatever you want to say, but the throttle-mans, their arms are kind of locked in beside them because their handle is there and their throttles are there, and so they're kind of, you know, like this tight to where if you're gonna like take a punch, you're gonna get tight. Well, you're like this, you know, and your core is taking the abuse. Your arms are kind of out in front of you, so I don't know. It's not the fact that I'm 49 years old. It's the fact that I'm driving.
Where did you get to be my age?
Well, how old are you, Jeremy?
52.
Oh, that ain't that. It won't be long. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it makes you feel young, though. I love it.
The adrenaline is what keeps me. I just love it. It keeps me young. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Anybody can go cruise around and do boring, dumb, slow shit, but let's do something fun. So
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't know. Hell, on my day off, my one day off that I've had in a while, I went in a fishing tournament this weekend. You know, it's like,
yeah,
if I can't compete it's been forever since I've been in one. But
how'd you do?
Sixth place, I think, out of 40. We had 17 pounds. We just we had we lost a big one. We just didn't hook up right. And then we broke one off on a crankbait, but the fishing here at the lake's unbelievable right now, especially with all this rain. The current rolls through here, and then the fish are just like, it's time to eat because they're post spawn and the current's rolling. But
is there a lot of debris in the water?
Yeah, there's a lot of debris. Denny, we call him Drive Master or Skag Master D. He's an older guy that works 3 days a week, and he is literally welding skags constantly.
Yeah,
this time of year. So
got it.
Is your boy still working at Performance?
Yeah, he does. He actually does a lot of just loading the boats and taking the boats in and out, and he captains some, but driving the tractor and stuff. I want him to be more mechanic based, but he's so good at driving the tractor and the boats. And it's hard to find. I mean, literally, he was in a tractor pulling he's 17, pulling it was a 438 skater out, you know, and then the race boat out. And I kind of like watch him, you know, just try not to be dickhead dad. Like, what are you doing? You know, and watch him. And like Brett and I were walking across the parking lot the other day, and he literally went and got the boat, put it on the trailer, climbed up the front of the tongue, pulled the boat out all by himself. I'm like, proud dad moment, you know, kind of thing. Watching your kid get a 42V and put the trailer in, go pull it around, put a 42V on the trailer, out, up the, you know, it's like, that's hard. You know, a lot of people can't go get a 42V trailer and pull it, go untie it and get it, know how to start it, go around, get it tied onto the trailer and winched up and pulled out. But
that's awesome.
Very cool.
He's going to be, he'll be one of those days. He'll be like, you know, they won't talk about Myrick anymore. They'll talk about Preston.
Hey, but that's cool though when it gets handed down that way.
Yeah, maybe.
So
yeah, that's Tyler and I's dream. Maybe one day that we'll race against Bear and Preston. So it'd be pretty cool. Coil
Okay.
Miller versus Coil Miller in the same class.
See if they whip you.
Yeah. Or when
Is he a senior
We'll
this
make
year?
sure that won't happen.
Yeah. Is he
Yeah.
a senior this year or no?
He's going to be a senior. Yep.
Okay.
And Bear's going to be
Nice.
a freshman. So
Okay. So
Nice.
today was Tyler's last day. He graduated today. So
oh,
wow.
wow, that's a big deal.
new kind of scary but happy moments for him and his world of what went back. He got out of school early, and then he had took my truck to school today to go drive a cool truck to school, and the next thing you know, he's back, parks at the garage, sends me a picture. It's home safe, and he's back in his truck driving around, picking his friends up, going everywhere.
That's
smart
awesome.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not been that way. I'd have been like, I got Dad's truck. It'd have been blown up or wrecked. And yeah. I remember blowing my dad's truck up at 30. It had like 36. I remember it was like 3 or 36,000 was a warranty back then. This was I think it was it would have had to been in like 92 or 93. I think it was like anyway, it had like 36,600 miles on it, and I blew it up. We were running the shit out of it. He's like, really? 600 miles over? He's losing his mind on me. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I was like, what could I have done to blow it up? He's like, run the shit out of it. Like, bad. I destroyed everybody's car. And he said, he always used to say, and I've heard Randy Sism use on my line, you could fuck up a crowbar and a sand pile. Basically. It's true. It's true.
So
he nailed it.
You showed us the new Pro Class 1, but what's the status on the factory stock?
It's they're picking up the lowers tomorrow, and it's supposed to either be here Friday or Monday.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
Done. Like ready to run.
I mean, close.
Yeah.
You know how it is. New boat blues.
Yep.
Work on this. Try to figure out water pressure. The beauty of MTI rigging it and MTI doing what MTI does is they've done several of them. It's not like this, like what we're dealing with the Class 1. Like, is it going to float? Is the tailpipe's going to be tall enough? Shit like that. They know pretty much. They're more like, do you want your camera here or here? That stuff. And Connor Handy's the one that's doing it and talking to me, and Scott and rigging up there is unbelievable too. But them guys, it's like they've done it so many times, and they know how to do it. So they, it's crazy to go up and to think back in the day, I was always the one fitting somebody in the boat, or, to where now it's like this young guy. I don't know how young Connor is, early 20s, but sit in the boat and he's like, do you want it like this? And I was like, it's like going back 20 years for me. Like, oh yeah. I like that. And it's, I don't know, just to watch progression of how people's mind works and what stage of their career they're in to get to where they want to be, is neat, because I've seen it from all aspects. But yeah,
that's great.
Anyway, Riley's sending me pictures or videos, so he's asking, Riley's asking, can I post some of the videos of the race boat in the water today? I'm like, no.
It's going on Boats and Bros first.
Till Tyler approves.
So, Jeremy, tell me about how Wozencraft got involved in your race team program.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered that too.
Devin and I just were buddies for years. I met him at the lake too. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, a lot of my life since I got into powerboat stuff, I've met a lot of really good people, and he was just one of them. We've always been friends. And when I was buying the boat, he actually, so when that deal all came through, I had the flu. I was laying on the couch just wishing I could get to tomorrow, basically. And I think Julian called me and sent it to voicemail. And then Reese called me. I sent it to voicemail. And then Devin calls. And I'd give my phone to Kristie at that point. And I'm like, just keep my phone. I don't want to hear it anymore. So then she comes back and she goes, now Devin's calling. I'm like, God, something happened to somebody or what? So I answer the phone. So she answered it and she said, he really needs to talk to you. And he's like, yeah, I heard everything's going to go through and on the race boat stuff. And I said, oh, so you're ready to be title sponsor? And he kind of stepped back for a second. I mean, that's literally how it kind of went down. Is you ready to be title sponsor? And it was kind of a more or less just a joke situation. He's like, well, I guess we could talk about that. I'm like, good, we can talk about it. Let's not do it right now. I don't feel like talking about it, but maybe in a day or two. So
Nice.
We talked about what we could do and for him and what he was looking for out of the stuff. And it's been a work in progress, but I mean, he supports us. Oh, I mean, it's been cool. He's been coming to every race now this year. The previous years, he's always on his world tours. So he had to organize his whatever weekends he could make it available, but it's been fun. He comes there and goes and meets and greets and shakes hands. And I think that's the secret sauce for him, is just him getting out there, him and Tom.
I was busting his balls that he wasn't there. He didn't make it to the New Orleans race when you guys took your first checker.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, can you believe it?
He was so bummed. Because he wanted to be involved. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, well, hopefully there's more to go at this year. So we'll see. Working hard.
What was it about the way you guys were running the boat in New Orleans that maybe felt different? Like you just said earlier in the podcast, was something just clicking that particular day?
Yeah.
Or weekend?
Good. I mean, so we've worked on a couple different setups, and I mean, that water on Sunday, I felt like is pretty. It wasn't smooth, but it wasn't Cocoa Beach. It was kind of that in between.
Similar to like a Sarasota setup.
Yes, and so we'd worked on a couple things and worked on acceleration and worked on a bunch of different things, and so that was, for me personally, that was kind of one of my favorites that I felt like this is something, I think we got something good here. So we put that together and went out there, and I kind of had a good feeling once we were making the parade lap around, thinking, okay, this might be something good. And, I don't know, the green flag dropped, and I looked to the right and I looked to the left, and I seen we were starting to pull on the left a little bit, and that's really, I was like, okay, we're pulling out. I just started staring forward at that point, and it's like, keep my distance off the turn, boys, and if we get, we got to get around the first turn clean, because in our class, different from I think every other class, we've got to hold our distance all the way through the first turn. So
plus a perspective, or what do they call the buoy, to where the upper group has to, or the 8 other boats have to go around a different buoy at the start, correct?
Yes. Yep. So, well, depending on how the people, but yeah, 7 or 8, anything past that has to go to the second buoy that's out there. So separation buoy, they call it.
Yeah, there you go.
So when you're coming down, and where that really, I mean, that helps getting through the first corner, because when you got 15, 16, 17, 18 boats, if everybody squishes down, I mean, if everybody takes 5 feet, you know how it is, just like everybody's on top of each other. Yeah. So it helps to split it up. So you got 7 or 8 boats that are going on the inside. You only have to separate between those 7 or 8. But it also gives people, the next group, if you're on the outside, it gives you a buoy to actually aim for, versus now you're trying to guess, well, let's see, there's 8 boats inside of me. I need to be 90 feet off of there. Well, you're going 120 miles an hour, you're 110 miles an hour, you're looking, okay, I can't throw my tape measure out there. Am I 90 feet or am I 70 feet? Or
gives you a reference point.
Right. So yeah, once we got that, the wind there was blowing, so it was a little bit of a game of playing. It was blowing offshore on Sunday, so playing the game with taking the wind and letting the wind blow you to the right where you wanted to go instead of steering where you wanted to go. And then you had to crab the boat down. If you got there too soon, you'd crab the boat down, and then, you know, you're knocking some speed out of the boat going down the straightaways. So, you know, it just worked out. You know, Julian had a plan about where if we got in the front or near the front, what we wanted to do with because that was the first time we were doing the long lap, short lap for us.
What do you think of it?
I think it's cool. It's a different strategy.
Yeah,
I like it because I like it because, you know, luckily for us at that point, we were able to get in the front, and so we didn't have to deal with it. But I can say if I was behind, let's say I was in fourth place, I don't have to follow. If I'm right behind the third place guy, I don't have to follow the third place guy, because dirty water is you know,
your enemy.
It slows you up. So I don't have to follow the third place guy if I don't want to. I don't have to follow the second place guy if I don't want to. I can pick and choose where you want to be. So it's a different strategy. I mean, are you always going to make the right call? Probably not, but it's part of the game of racing, I guess. And so I think it's interesting. I think it's, you know, not going to say it's set in stone that that's the best thing since sliced bread, but right now I got good things to say about it.
Yeah. I understand as a spectator how it's hard to understand who's in the lead at that point, but it also gives you side-by-side racing for a boat that might not be up in the lead to actually be up there with the lead boats because he took his short lap early, you know, that kind of thing. So I see the pros and the cons, but I like the fact that you can get separation, and if you're fast, you have a chance to make up some ground on the lead boats. If you're, for example, like fourth place, like you said, Jeremy.
Right. I mean, when we were leading, Bermuda was taking their last short lap, so we were on a long lap, and they were on my left side, so I couldn't see them. But, you know, Julian's throttling, and he's staring out the side window, and he's like, keep it tight, keep it tight, keep it tight.
Yeah.
And
make them
you know,
work.
I can't see it. I can't see it over there. We're halfway through the corner, and he's got his, you know, he's staring straight out the side window, not looking anywhere where we're going. and so, you know, I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing, and he's just like, we got to keep it tight. We can't let them drift all the way out. So it's, I don't know. I find it when we got straightened out, I could see where they, you know, they were just trying to exit. So as we coming by, we had a steam on them at that point. So it was, but it's cool. I mean, I think it'll be fun at, you know, some of the tracks. I don't know.
I think the challenges for the broadcasting to illustrate to the fans exactly when the teams are taking the short laps, and I think then I think the spectators would embrace it more, because when they're not seeing what happened, that's where the confusion lies. But it is a cool concept.
With I can't remember the name of the tracking system, but with the tracking system that Tim Siebold has brought on, it's unbelievable how much better for me to go back and watch a race afterwards and see lap times and stuff like that. I wish I would remember the name of it, but it's to have that beacon on the boat and to be able to see lap times and to be able to see positions at that time for the commentators is huge. I understand that it's they need to have, is what I've been told, is they need to have beacons on the actual buoys. That way the transponder understands where the boat is on the course. But because a lot of the time they'll say like it only gives you the lap time and the position when they went by the start finish buoy, instead of like in turn one, you know, halfway through turn one where the position of the boat is. So, but water adds a whole different aspect to everything that goes on as far as beacons and beams and, you know, all this other stuff that is easy at a racetrack that's, you know, I don't know, half a mile long, to where, you know, they can set up 20 beacons and no splits and laps. And it's different when it's a 7 mile course or a 5 mile course, and you know, oh, by the way, that buoy out there is where we got to put that beacon. And they're like, oh, you got a boat, you know, that kind of stuff. It's especially when the water's rough, like Coco. But lake race coming up next week, you know, that'll be a good one. But I haven't seen.
I think it'll be smooth, huh, Mark?
I hope. I know it'll be smooth compared to anything that we've seen lately, because St. Pete was nasty, Coco was nasty, New Orleans was not nasty, but it wasn't, you know, just calm as can be. It was blowing both days. I know Saturday was worse than Sunday, but Sunday was definitely offshore, like you said before. But yeah, last year though, lake race, it was blowing like crazy. So, I mean, it wasn't rough, but it still blows the boat all over the place.
Have you seen, is the course layout similar
this
year?
I have not seen the course layout. I would assume it's very similar. I don't know what you're going to do that. I mean, other than the long lap, short lap, which I assume they're going to attempt, because it's kind of been like the signature move of IHRA. So I saw that the contract is signed today. So
yeah,
it's going to happen, which that's a good deal.
Greenlit.
Because, you know, for the past, you know, week or 2 weeks, it's been like, obviously IHRA came out and Shootout Offshore came out and said that we want to make it happen. But behind the scenes, there's been more than most people know about just trying to get the contract done. But supposedly today being June 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd, it is signed. So with a lot of new leadership and people at IHRA. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Hopefully it's all good.
Awesome. Yep.
No,
looking forward
I think
to
it'll be all good. I mean, I know somebody told me 200 jet skis registered, or 200 racers, or 200 skis or boats, or, you know, I need to be better about it, but I just don't know as much.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Where are they doing the jet ski races at?
I've been told in the cove on the left. So, you know, when you pull away from the docks there at the Neon Taco, there's like a cove to the left there that is, it's not that it's, you know, a big cove, but it's enough to where they can, I don't think jet skis or the boats, the stand-ups or that they don't need a real big course, similar to like at New Orleans. You know, they really didn't impede our course, or what was the other one that they were at, or St. Pete where they were there. Neither one of those really, you know,
they're on the opposite side of the pier.
Yeah, opposite side of the pier, you know, and I love it for the spectators because, you know, I mean,
keeps the action going.
I'm excited. My daughter, I got to get the credit card away from her, because I went down there yesterday to like see what oil the engine takes, because I know it was low on oil, and I was like, it's hot, and I go, Missy, what's the deal? She goes, oh, Kennedy's been out riding it today, and I was thinking, you know, there's $75 like every day she burns through a tank of gas. So, but
could be worse. Could be worse things to do.
Yeah, I get it. But 14 years old, and I would have
got her own credit card to fill up the jet ski. That's awesome.
I'm sure it's my credit card. She goes to the Horny Toad, and, you know, oh, $75, you know. But you're right. There could be worse thing. I'm just bitching to bitch because I'm a bitch, I guess.
Well, you take the card away, she's just going to come to Performance Cove and fill up over there.
Yeah. Put it on Dad's tab. But then that's a 14-mile run, so I'd just rather give the Camden or the Horny Toad, whatever they call it now, the money, just because it's only a mile away. But yeah. It's exciting. It's a proud dad moment, just like Preston, you know, being able to do what he can do, to watch her, you know, be smart and mature enough to like go jet skiing on her own and get fuel and come back and have it tied up and all that stuff. But that's what I was getting at before my rant about fuel prices on jet skis. is the fact that there's going to be 200 skis down there. And I want her to go down and hang around that and witness it because, I think it's cool, and, that's something potentially, she could do one day, maybe.
Did you go to the New Orleans, where the jet skis were? So the stand-ups when I don't know what they are, full mods, whatever.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That
when you,
Coy, trying to think of his last name. I think it's Coy something. Monster just sponsored him, 16-year-old kid. He's whipping everybody's ass.
Them kids. So, my deal, it's a whole family affair for us. I mean, I got my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, everybody comes along and somebody, one of them's cooking and one of them, everybody's helping, putting the team effort together. And it's an awesome time, but they come out to watch the jet skis and we're sitting there and I love to give my mother-in-law a hard time. So I said, I'm thinking about taking up jet ski racing. She looks at me and says, you get a jet ski, I'm breaking your legs. She says,
Coy Curtis.
There it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, I get it because it's one of those things that's so cool. I mean, I don't know. I like it.
They're next to each other, 3 wide going into a corner, full tilt, and the thrust.
They're
people,
ripping. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not 30 miles an hour. They're cooking coming into a tight corner, and I'm like, wow, man. I mean, 3 wide, all making it through there somehow.
Right. Hey, Jeremy, did your boat sustain, Coco, any damage that you had to fix for?
Nothing. Not little bits. We had a little
motor
bit of
mounts.
Nope. Those new ROSs so far.
I was going to ask you about that. So the new ROS versus the 300R from last year. Do you notice a big difference?
So
not necessarily performance wise or just longevity, maybe.
So far they've been bulletproof, really. Meaning the mounts. I can't say enough good about it. I mean, the worker guys have been over there constantly checking, looking at things. They're the mounts. I mean, you work on enough of the outboard stuff. When you shake the motors, typically there's some shake to them. Even when they're brand new, there's no shake to those. And now we beat the snot out of those things at 3 races testing, and there's still no shake whatsoever. There's no shake to them. So they made, the changes they made, the access to get to them and stuff for the motor mounts, at least some of them are easier to get to and see and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I saw my first set on the floor yesterday for Chad and Rusty's boat, and it looks, once you take the cowlings off, it's like there must got to be something missing, compared to what we used to look at with the whole longer midsection and everything like that. Especially when you take the fuel pump off and put it inside the boat and things like that. It's like, man, there's a lot of missing things on this.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, I'm coming from your performance powerboat stuff, but you entertained some of they're not called the ROSs, but they're called something else, the 300 with the 15.
Yeah, Sidewinder.
Was that what they are? So
that's what they call it. Yeah.
Okay, I think those are going to be kind of if they've got a lot to inherit with a lot similar to the ROSs, I think those are going to be pretty badass motors for the.
I agree. Only thing is the rigging part of things. So I totally agree with everything you're saying, other than the Sidewinder compared to an AMS, which is like the consumer version of the 20-inch. Has the steering cylinder, that I don't have to go and buy $8,000 worth of steering components.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. And then the trim pump being inside the boat. It sounds so silly, but to mount that trim pump inside the boat and run the lines and run the through holes compared to just plugging in 2 wires, it makes a big difference. So just say, for example, the engine costs more. or say that the engine's exactly the same price, but you have to pay $10,000 more by the time you do the rigging components and the steering. I don't think people will do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, you know more about that than I do on that part of it.
I like what you're saying, and I totally agree because I love it on our 280, and I really wish they made a 15-inch 400 because I think it would, especially with the V10. I'm talking about the V10. I think it'd be cool with a 15-inch. But I get Mercury can't have like 35 different models. I totally agree with that because we don't buy enough, to re-engineer every different thing for every different aspect. But a 15-inch 400 V10 would be cool. But I know I won't get it.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Because right now I put the next boat we're doing it for Ryan Clifton. It's going to be a 360 with 400 V10s. And I love the power because a 400 V10 really makes about what I've been told is 425, 430 horsepower. And the whole lighter 87 octane, on my fuel kick again, is so much cheaper, and then naturally aspirated, so I don't have to worry about supercharger belts, all this other stuff. I love the fact that the V10 does what it does because we run it on so many 32 Sensations, and they are so badass. And I'm excited for the 360 to have 400 V10s on it because I know it's going to be a 125 mile an hour boat, with 87 octane, with less components to break. But then again, I was like, this V10 is so tall and it's going to then have a 20-inch midsection. It'd be cool if it was a 15-inch midsection, so it make it more similar to like a 20-inch 500 because you had 2 cylinders. I don't know what the bore is, but I guarantee this thing is going to be, if not, it's going to be at least 5 inches taller. Yeah, it's got to be 5.
So if you could drop 5 inches out of it, at least you'd have something similar.
Yeah, get down to what a 500 looks like on the back of a 360. So anyway,
right. Yeah. No.
If I were king, we'd have 12-inch, 15-inch, 13-inch midsection, every midsection ever made for whatever boat that we. Oh, I want that in this, but then you go and see how it works at Mercury. You're like, well, they can't do that, because that's going to cost them $200,000 to engineer, and they'll never make their money back. You're like, oh, okay, well, I guess we can't have that then.
Right.
I guess I won't be
and
king.
I say 200,000, but it's probably more like 2 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was 200,000, Mercury would probably be like, oh, well, we'll figure out a way to make that back. But those are, anyway, I mean, to get back to the ROSs, though, I think they're pretty stout, badass motors. I think I haven't heard anybody say that.
I'm excited. And when I saw how simple it is, especially with the exhaust system, and I was excited to see that. Yeah, not saying that I want to get back in the stock class, but I was excited to see the motor.
We'd be back in the factory stock class.
Driving's fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if Chad will let me sit in his seat and take it for a test ride with Rusty, and then I'll report back.
There you go. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, looking forward to seeing both your teams. Myrick, your new race boats.
Two
at Shootout Offshore next week. And Jeremy, you and Julian, good luck to you guys.
Trying to get up there into that first place position.
We're going to try and put her up front again. That's the
goal.
Hell
yeah.
You need a matching checkered flag behind you.
We need to. Yes, I'd like to.
He needs a whole shop full, and if I was he's going to have a whole shop full of them one day.
Myra's talking about being king. I'm king. I'm just going to I'm going to run the course and take all the checkered flags. So
there you go.
That's right.
Let it be done. Jeremy, thanks for joining us. Myrick, thank you. This has been another episode of the Boats and Bros podcast. Please remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe, and watch the live stream at the lake race next weekend. Watch Team Wozencraft, Team Monster Energy MCon, and see how they do. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
This podcast is powered by Speedboat Magazine. Subscribe now at speedboat.com for 9 power-packed current issues a year direct to your mailbox.